Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. And welcome to what is sure to turn into messy chaos. I have coloured and altered all my pages for my Dephemerember journal except for my printables. And now is time for me to stop procrastinating and stop stalling because I don't want to ruin these beautiful printables. It's time to just do it. So I have my printables. I've got Distress Oxides. Now I've tried to pull out the colours that I've used in other parts. So I've got Spiced Marmalade, Wild Honey, Fossilized Amber, Distress Oxide. I've got Broken China, Salty Ocean, but I've also pulled out Faded Jeans. I'm not sure if I'll use that one, but it's just slightly darker. And then because I don't have Rusty Hinge and Distress Oxide, I've got Walnut Stain and Vintage Photo for if I decide that I want some brown tones in there. And of course I've got my Distress Sprayer just filled with tap water. I am following Barbara's lead in that I am wearing gloves, because I think this is going to get really messy, and I'm just being prepared. Not that I don't normally mind getting my hands dirty, but I think this is going to be beyond dirty. So I've got my pages here ready to go. I've trimmed off all the white edges on them, so they are just slightly under A4. But I'm okay with that. And then I've got some paper bags. Now, we don't get the newspaper here. We haven't for probably 15 odd years. So I thought, well, what can I lay everything out on that I've got heaps of? And my pages are going to fit on these shopping bags. So I thought, what a great way to A, recycle something, and B, decorate the sides of these paper bags. I may end up then using these paper bags to create other journals as time goes by, but I also use paper bags like this as gift wrapping for some of those odd shaped things, or for hampers for Christmas, for instance. And I've got a lot of those coming up. So why not do a 2-for-1 and see what we can get out of that as well. So I'll put those aside for now and have them where I can easily grab them and put a paper on. And then I've cleared off my normal crafting mat, and I'm just going to use the Tonic Studios Tim Holtz glass crafting mat directly as my surface, because I think it's going to be easier and it's not going to stain. So here goes nothing. Let's just start with the first page and go from there. So we've got lots of blues on this side. We've got some blues here. So I think I'll try and bring in some like yellows and browns, particularly onto this side, and we'll see what happens. So let's just shift these. So I've got browns, we've got our yellows and orange and blues. So give them a shake, which I should have done beforehand. Now, along with my sexy blue gloves, I have to confess that I'm also wearing a really attractive 70s motif apron just to protect my clothes. And this was an apron that I inherited from my mother when she passed away. I vaguely recollect this fabric as a child. It feels like it might have been some drapes or something, but Mum's, I'm pretty sure, sewing it herself. So a piece of my mum with me today as we get arty and make a mess, and I'm sure she would appreciate the creativeness and mess making that we're about to get into, and would probably want to join in, given half a chance. Right, here we go. Let's just go for it. So I don't want to put too much down at once. So that's our first one, broken china. Well, that was a bit more generous. That is our salty ocean. And why not, let's try some of the faded jeans. Alright, that's a bit more generous. Okay, so water. Alright, and there is spray going everywhere, just as a heads up. So now, I said I wanted to do the yellow colours. Right, okay, never mind. Oh, yes, we'll start on another page then. Right, here we go. So, let's just... Oh, yeah. Right, now... You want to put a little bit on the back of there. Okay, so now we are going to just put that down onto one of our paper bags. There we go. Right, one down. Now, to tell you the truth, there hasn't really been a lot of transference onto paper bags. That's it. And this was one of the pages in the latter ones, like the last page I did. So that was more ink, less water. So we'll see what happens with some of the others. So we'll start restacking and see what we end up with. Right, so I've put down the fossilised amber, wild honey and spiced marmalade, but there's not a lot of colour variation there. And so I'm going to put in some vintage photo, just a little bit, and some of the walnut stain, just to give it a bit of variety, and we'll see what happens there. Alright, so let's spray some water in and we'll yeah, that looks interesting. Alright, so let's grab another pre-loved napkin. And add some more love to it. Alright. Yep, there we go. So you're looking good. Alright, time to dry these. Now I'm actually quite surprised at how dry they are already before I attack them with the heat gun. I mean, we are still just in spring here. Haven't hit summer at all, so it's still, you know, quite temperate. But obviously warmer than what I think it is. Okay, so everything is all dry. It's time to see the end results of all our messy play today. But first of all, we'll start with the byproducts. So these are the paper bags. They didn't get as much ink on them as I was kind of thinking. That one's probably got the most on it. I mean, I thought they might get quite a bit on them, but not really. So we'll be using this idea some more and these paper bags some more. So that's those. I then did some cleanup on some paper and that turned out really nice. So this was, I started off using the tissues to clean up, but then I thought, oh no, not just tissues, let's do some book pages as well. And I love the varying colours on these, so they will go in with my pack of papers to be used that can be used for ephemera. And then these were some of the tissues, so that turned into a green. Love this one, that's awesome. But my favourite is this. I think this one looks very cool with the gold and then the blue. So lots of ways that they will be used, but they'll be going into like my collage folders, and maybe a separate folder for like the ones that match the Dephemerember. And if you're interested in seeing my collage folders, leave a comment below, because I don't think I've actually shown them and how I run them. Right, here, this is what we're wanting to see, is how did the papers end up. So, I just love that. This one, to me, kind of looks like a reverse sun with the clouds in front of it. I just love the way the Oxides have just left this page. This one in here kind of looks like coral, if you can see that. No idea how I created that, but it looks really amazing. So, very cool. And I love this colour here. That rust colour just is to die for. This one here. And again, that colour. And that rust has turned out to be very similar to the red that was in that printable, which is quite surprising. So, yeah, that's that one. This one here. Just the delicacy of the oxides, just, it never ceases to astound me. Just, yeah. Again, I love what's happened over the top of this. Whether it's because it was like a darker print, I don't know. I love this splashes of like golden rust is probably how I'm going to describe it. And this, I love this page. That just looks so awesome. Yeah. I mean, the ink is kind of taken away from what essentially could have been, and no offense to the printables, but a boring page, and really highlighted the images that are on it. Love this. Now, the first time when I first looked through, I thought, how did I create these circles in it? And then I realised that they were actually in the print beforehand, but I'd kind of missed them in the busy page, but now, don't they look awesome? I love the way these whiter flowers stand up in amongst all this busyness. I've still got that very cool splatter there. Love this. This kind of looks quite like a turbulent storm up here. And these flowers are just blowing in the wind. Love this. Again, the red down here is being echoed up here. And just the colour blending there is just stunning. I'm not going to want to cover up any of these pages. I know this. Look at that beautiful golden warmth. You can just almost like feel it on the page. That's cool. And I love how these like circles are still showing up. It makes them, even though some of them have been covered, they just kind of, yeah, stand out more. And this, look at that oxiding up there. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Again, Oxide. Heaven. Beautiful. Look at this. Wow. And some of them I've done the yellows and browns first, and then the blues over the top, and then others the other way around. And there is a difference between the two. I love that purpley still stands out. There we go, another one, the purple stands out. This is, the colours here, I mean, this looks so tealy and almost bordering on a green, but it just goes so well with everything else. I love how this one turned out too, because this was quite a dark black compared to the other pages, because there's only the one from this kit, but this is just beautiful and drips on it. Yeah, very cool. And last page, but I think this has to be, I don't know why, but I think this is my favourite page. The way that the ink has just ended up. I just love it. Love, love, love it. Right, well, okay. Now to decide if we're going to do anything else on them. I think we might have to try some of Barbara and Luise's, like, highlighting, maybe some splatters, maybe some heat embossing. Let's have a think on it and see what we come up with in our next session. I will see you back in the studio for what will probably be the last of the page decorations, and then it will be time to put everything in. So, see you in the studio, but bye for now.